Virtue is knowledge. Now, virtue is a central idea in Western philosophy, especially in ethics. Ethics में यही core concept है. जैसे what can be Indian word for virtue? यहाँ पर virtue means what is good, what is desirable, what is excellent. ठीक है. What is Indian word for virtue? Dharma. ठीक है. Dharma, good, righteousness. Why should you perform dharma or why should you be good? Because this gives you happiness. ठीक है. तो ethics is about understanding what is good life. So what life is a life of virtue? Whose life will you call a life of virtue? Fine. So one agreement is there in Western philosophy, and that is we should lead a good life. Why should we lead a good life? Because the purpose of life is happiness, and happiness idea is linked to the idea of good. So in your answers, when you see good written, you get happiness. So Western philosophy, the purpose of life is happiness. Happiness comes through what? Happiness comes through virtue. When you do something with excellence, this converts into happiness. But what is virtue? How to become virtue? Fine. So he says that virtue is knowledge. Means if you want to become virtuous, you have to gain knowledge. Virtue is what? Good or excellence. If you have to perform excellently in your exam, what is the first thing that you require? Knowledge. Which knowledge? Any knowledge? True knowledge. Okay. And how this true knowledge will come? Through dialectics. So dialectics is a means method. Goal is good life or happiness, and knowledge is the means. Okay. So method means goal. So purpose of life is happiness. Happy life means satisfied life, or what is a good life? Happiness and virtue can be used interchangeably. So good life will require the knowledge of good life. And how will you get that knowledge? Through dialectics. So what is a method or technique? Dialectics. What is a means? Knowledge. What is a goal? Virtue. So virtue is knowledge. Fine. It means what is wise? Ignorance is wise. So if you are ignorant, you will keep on committing the mistakes. So what Socrates says that? Socrates says that no one commits crime willingly. People commit crime out of ignorance. Okay. I feel that by earning money through wrong means will give me happiness. So that is my ignorance. So if someone commits crime, instead of punishing that person, we need to educate that person. Once person understands that there is no real happiness lies in something else, they will not commit crimes. Because until and unless you are not convinced about something, morality, ethics should be a part of your conviction. you will not become moral only if we give you punishment. Okay, so virtue is knowledge, and he says that no one commits crime because of people commit crime because of ignorance. So if you want to remove crime, if you want to remove corruption, the remedy lies in education. Okay, so that is his theme. Then I gave you another statement: unexamined life is not worth living. Fine. So what he used to do, he used to go to the people, ask the questions, make them unstable. Fine. Suppose he used to ask question to a person, what is good life? Person is replying, money is giving me good life. Then he will ask counter question, and he will leave people thinking. And how can we make our life good? When we keep on questioning our beliefs. So questioning our beliefs is a methodology of dialectics. तो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. इज दैट क्लियर? तो अब हम करेंगे पहले कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ दिस स्टेटमेंट. किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ये स्टेटमेंट आता है? व्हाट इज द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट? वर्च्यू इज नॉलेज. ठीक है, तो इन योर कॉपीज यू राइट कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट. Right, during the time of Socrates, the central question of philosophy shifted from nature to the human life. Right, it has been realized that it is not enough to know what is life. Who will deal with the question of what is life? Biologist, protoplasm, cytoplasm. ठीक है, तो it is not enough to know what is life, comma, the more important question is what constitutes a good life. अंडरलाइन कर दो, what constitutes a good life. ठीक है, अब लिखो on this question emerged two traditions. ठीक है, A लिखो, first tradition, which is that? Sophist, right? The sophist tradition, which held that money and power is a source of good life. Okay, second tradition, B, right? The Socratic tradition, which held that knowledge is source of good life. and not money and power. Next paragraph. Not only Socrates told what is good life, comma, he also told how to understand good life. Underline karo, how to understand good life. How to understand? What you will have to do to understand good life? Dialectics. How to understand good life, right? Right. For understanding good life, we need to do dialectics. Underline dialectics. What is dialectics? Questioning. ठीक है, dialectics, right? Means examining our beliefs. Examining our beliefs about good life. Right? In the words of Socrates, right, inverted commas, unexamined life is not worth living. Underline karo, worth living. Which life is worth living? Good life. And how will you get good life? Through the knowledge. Underline करो, worth living. अब ऐसे एक क्वेश्चन लिखो अपनी समझ के लिए. Which life is worth living? इसी को simplified क्वेश्चन हो सकता है. What is the purpose of life? ठीक है, तो राइट, इन वेस्टर्न फिलोसफी the purpose of life is happiness. In bracket you can write the Greek word for happiness, eudaimonia. I told earlier. So when your talent, etc., flourish, you reach to your potential, you get happiness. Fine. So in Greek philosophy, the purpose of life is happiness. Full stop, right? Happiness. Yeah, right. Happy life is a good life. Underline karo, good life. लिखो, right? If for sophists money and power if for sophists money and power is a source of good life, comma, for Socrates knowledge is a source of good life. Full stop, right? Hence, Socrates suggests virtue is knowledge. Right? Socrates held that no one commits crime inverted commas में लिखो knowingly, right? People commit crimes out of ignorance. Full stop, right? Hence, the solution lies not in punishment, not in punishment, but in education. Right? People commit crimes thinking that comma, in this way they can gain happiness. Right? Hence, they need to be educated.